guys, it's me Poppy and welcome back to another YouTube video. So today I'm doing my May TBR, all the books I want to read in May. So I put them here because last time I'm like carrying them and my arms get tired, so I just thought I'd put them here so then it's a lot easier and I could just talk about them without holding them. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we've got some fantasy here. We've got A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, Powerless by Lauren Roberts, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Then we've got Romance and a Sad Book, so Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton, and also Rewrite Our Story by Kat Singleton. She's a new author. I haven't read any of her books yet, so I'm very excited to see what they're like. Then we've got my favourite, Elsie Silver, or Elise Silver? I don't know. We've got part of the Chestnut Springs series. I still need to finish this off. I'm putting it off because I've become attached to these characters. Oh wait, you can barely see me. Hi! I've become attached to these characters and the books, and I don't want it to end. So I've been really holding it off on this one. Wild Love by Elsie Silver, which is their new series. And then I got Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgs, and then Springtide by Ice Stevens. Okay, I'm gonna go more in depth with these books now. Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a very popular book talk series and I still haven't read it yet. Oopsies! She gets taken prisoner by the High Fae Lord, then learns that her masked captor is hiding even more than his piercing gaze suggests. But as Fair's feelings for Tamlin begins to burn through every warning she's heard about his kind, a shadow is falling across the land, and if Fair cannot fight it, she will lose everything. I want to get into this series. I just need to push myself to start reading it, because hopefully once I start reading it, I will love it. So there's that, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, then I've got Powerless by Lauren Roberts. When I'm going to start reading the fantasy genre, I don't know which one to go for first, then it doesn't put me in a slump. And I'm like, which one? Because this is enemies to lovers, and I'm like, I do love enemies to lovers. Basically, elites have possessed powers for decades, gifted to them by the plague, while those born ordinary are just that, banished from the kingdom of Lilia and shunned from society. No one knows this better than Hayden Gray, an ordinary posing as a physique to blend in with the elites. When she unsuspectingly saves one of Ilia's princes, Kai Azar, she's thrown into the Purging Trials, a brutal competition showcasing the elite's powers. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will, if he discovers that Padron is completely ordinary. This sounds interesting, and hopefully I read it. Ever since Sabrina Carpenter has released Espresso, it's been stuck in my head. I'll just be going about my day and just be like, I'm working late because I'm missing it. We've got Rebecca Ross, Divine Rivals. My best friend Ava recommended this to me. She really liked it, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a go. So it's another enemies to lovers. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again. All 18-year-old Iris Winnow wants to do is hold her family together, with a brother forced to fight on behalf of the gods now missing from the front line, and a mother drowning her sorrows. Iris's best bet is winning the I'm gonna struggle with this. Columnist. I'm just gonna say it's that. The columnist. That doesn't sound right. The columnist promotion at the Oath Gazette. Huh? But when Iris's letters to her brother fall into the wrong hands, those of the handsome but cold Roman Kit, her rival at the paper, an unlikely magical connection forms. Expelled into the middle of the mystical war, typewriters in tow, can their bond withstand the fight for the fate of mankind and most importantly love? Look how pretty! It's got like a wee... What are they? Stars? Ooh, it's got like stars. It's really cool. So like on the bookshelf, it would look really pretty without the dust jacket. But even with the dust jacket, it's a really nice cover. I'm very excited to read this. It sounds really good. Yeah. The next book that I'm really excited to read is Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. This sounds really good, and I literally cannot wait. Life is never black and white. One minute you're a struggling graphic designer in LA that's finally coming to terms with being single forever, and the next you're flying to New York in a private jet to get engaged to your ex-boyfriend's older brother. At least that's what everyone thinks. Forced to clean up his playboy image in order to protect his company, Beckham Sinclair, the city's most reliable billionaire bachelor. Why can't I say that? The most reliable billionaire bachelor. There we go. Wants me to be his fake fiance and personal assistant. Now I'm spending every spare second with a man I thought I'd never see again. My freshly mended heart has barely recovered from the first time a Sinclair broke it. But each passing day, Beck's dirty mouth and lingering stares make me question his motives and mine. As the line blurs between real and pretend, only one thing is certain: there are secrets hiding in a city full of black ties and white lies. This sounds really good, and I literally cannot wait to read it. This is another one by Kat Singleton, Rewrite Our Story. Cade Jennings was always there for me when I needed him, until he wasn't. I spent my entire life loving my best friend's older brother. Every single one of my birthday wishes was spent hoping Cade would finally notice me, and then one day he did. But not all love stories have happy endings. It's been years since I left the small town of Sutton Mountain, devastated and heartbroken. I'd used the pain to fuel a best-selling novel that solidified I'd never have to return, until tragedy struck, forcing me to face the man who shattered my heart. I thought I'd be strong enough to see him again. I didn't expect the angry, broken man staring back at me, but the more time we spend around each other, the more I see a glimpse of him. The glimpses of the man I fell in love with. His touch still owns me, his kiss still brands me, and even after all this time, the feelings I have for him still consume me. Cade and I are unfinished business, and this time he's not letting me leave until we rewrite our story. Small town, second chance, possibly enemies to lovers? Sounds really good though, and I'm very excited. Okay, the next book is Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is part of the Chestnut Spring series. This is the 4th book. Hopeless is the 5th and last book. It's cowboys, there's romance. It's one of the book is like single dads, there's enemies to lovers, all this. It's really, really good, my favourite series. So, Reckless. Theo Sylvia, howdy bull rider, notorious ladies man, scorching hot trouble, wrapped up in a drool-worthy package, and he's looking at me like I might be his next meal. But I'm almost free of my toxic marriage and have sworn off men entirely, so all I see when I look back is temptation, served up with a heaping side of heartbreak. The man is hard to trust and even harder to resist. Make that impossible because Theo is persistent, and no matter how hard I try to freeze him out, he melts my icy exterior and pulls apart my defenses. Over a drink in a small town bar, I blurt out my deepest, darkest secrets. Then I spend the singular hottest night of my life with him. He worships my body, he makes me blush, I come alive in his hands. Then I tell him to forget it ever happened. I want simple, and with him, it all feels complicated. It was supposed to be a one-time thing, a secret, but that little plus sign is going to make this secret impossible to keep. So as you can tell, this is a secret baby romance. It sounds really good, and I love Elsie Silver's work. Then we've got Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the last one in the Chestnut Spring series. So Bo Eaton is the town prince. Yeah. A handsome military hero with a tortured past. I'm an outcast bartender, a shy girl from the wrong side of the tracks. He's 35 and all man, I'm 22 and all virgin. He's also my fiancé, my fake fiancé. We start out as a bet. He doesn't believe that anyone holds my last name against me, so he offers me his to prove a point. It's a win-win. He gets a break from his concerned family's prying, and I get a chance to shed my family's reputation while I save up to ditch this small town. He says all I have to do is wear his ring, follow his lead, and pretend I can't keep my hands off him in public. But it's what happens between us in private that blurs all those carefully drawn lines. It's what happens behind closed doors that doesn't feel like pretending at all. This engagement was supposed to be for a show. This agreement, it has an end date. He once told me he'd never fall in love, and yet here I am, head over heels for my fake fiance. I cannot talk. Anyway, I'm very, very excited to read this series. There's fake dating, age gap, friends to lovers, is it? Very excited to read this series and finish it off, hopefully. Don't know if I will. I've said that already. I don't know if I will, but these books sound really, really good, and I'm very excited to read them. And then we've got Elsie Silver's new series, the Rose Hill series, and this is book 1, Wild Love. I really love the colour. of the book and the cover, because you've got like a locket with a heart-shaped locket and a key, then you've got a record player with a vinyl on it, and it's so pretty, and then you've got mountains here. She's been driving in wild for years, the kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. Forbes may have labelled Ford Grant the world's hottest billionaire, but all he cares about is escaping the press and opening a recording studio in the gorgeous small town Rose Hill. Something that comes to a screeching halt when he ends up face to face with a young girl who claims he's her biological father. After years of living in the city, Rosie comes back into this town like a storm, beautiful, messy and chaotic. One wide-eyed, desperate plea for a job is all it takes for Ford to hire her. He vows to keep her at arm's length, but with her verbal sparring as a type of foreplay, friction that soon turns to blistering heat. Ford knows damn well he can't cross this line, but shouldn't and can't are two very different things, and the only thing he truly can't do is resist her. Anyway, I'm very excited to read this book. I love Elsie Silver's work and her books, and I can't wait to start her new series, and yeah. Then the next book is Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. I picked this up because I recently watched P.S. I Love You. Freaking sobbing. That movie broke me. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. I was sobbing at the end, full on hyperventilating, like literally took my heart out, ripped it apart, chucked it across the room, didn't even care. Movie broke me. This really reminded me of P.S. I Love You, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know what, might be in the mood for a sad book and just cry my heart out, because why not? Joshua Park never expected to be a widower at the age of 30. Given his celebrity job, small circle of friends and family, and the social awkwardness he's always suffered from, Josh has no idea how to negotiate this new unwanted phase of life. But Lauren, his wife, had a plan to keep him moving forward. A plan hidden in the letters she leaves him, giving him a task every month in the year after her death. It's a journey that will take Joshua for the first outing as a widower to buy groceries, to an attempted dinner party that becomes a comic disaster, to finding a new best friend while weeping in the dressing room of a clothing store. As the grief makes room for new friendships and experiences, Joshua learns Lauren's most valuable lesson: the path to happiness doesn't follow a straight line. This book's gonna destroy me. I'm already gonna start crying. I just read the first bit. Dear Dad, I'm dying. My husband is going to be a widower, and this has been the most wonderful year of my life. Right, I'm gonna be reading it one page at a time and just freaking sobbing. I'm very excited to read this book. I'm fiddling with it a lot. I'm very excited to read this book. I love a good cry, and I love a good sad book, so yeah. And then we've got Springtide by Kai Stevens. I really love the cover. It's really cute. And then look, you've got a wee dog on the back. Harper St. James is the type of girl who thrives on the idea of life's simple pleasures. A half-melted ice cream cone on a summer's day, a puppy licking sand from a baby's face, a gentle wave that crusts and breaks on the ocean shore. I'm literally her. I literally love the simple things and the small things in life that people don't appreciate. I don't know why I said it like that. Quite some time, Harper's been harbouring a secret crush on Nate Gunderson, fellow Coastal U student and MLB hopeful. In order to spend more time with him this semester, she finds herself spinning a ridiculous web of lies. Her first step, convincing her sports med professor? Where was I? I've lost the spot. Convincing her sports med professor that she's been dating a football player. After all, if she's romantically involved, it simply wouldn't be right for her to keep an internship with their team. Unfortunately for Harper, the silly, frantic excuse to switch assignments quickly snowballs into an unstoppable rumour. Luca Reynolds is the type of guy who prefers to set low expectations both for himself and others, if only to avoid any inevitable disappointment. His football teammates would describe him as reserved, brooding, and occasionally standoffish. The truth, Luca doesn't feel like he belongs. That's deep. When an unexpected injury threatens to destroy Luca's long-term plans, he finds himself in need of help from a discreet professional, one who will assist his knee, provide some simple stretches, and assure him that everything's fine. Luckily, there's a scheming student intern that just might owe him a favour or two. A secret for a secret, a lie for a lie. It's not really blackmail if she's the one who used him. Ooh! Okay. That sounds really good, actually. Yeah. Hold the book and talk, Poppy. I'm very, very excited to read this, and it sounds really good. And yeah. That is all I want to read in May. Again, I need to finish these books off. Haven't read in a week, and I'm like, oh, it's really annoying. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, I will be sorting out my bookshelf soon because this is a freaking disaster. Like, there's books on top of books. I really need to sort it out. Like, there's even more down there. Like, it is ridiculous. So I'm going to be doing a YouTube video on that soon. Hopefully by the end of May I have this sorted out. I've just been putting it off because people who organize their bookshelves, you guys understand that when you have to organize it, you are sweating, your arms are tight, like it is a whole thing. Especially if you have these many bloody books. Also, I don't know how to organize it. Just like, what goes where, how do I make it aesthetic? Like, it's so stressful and I've just been putting it off. But I need to do it because it's getting ridiculous and I don't like how my bookshelf looks. I'll be doing that soon. So that'll be a very fun video coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next one.